Hey guys, and welcome back. I quickly wanted to make a video about my climb to Master 1 this season, as it was quite fun. I hope you also had a lot of fun. This season I did not track my games, so I cannot tell you the win and lose rates, but I want to show you the decks/deck that I mainly used to reach a Master 1 with this season. So I've already talked about this, and you might have seen this in other videos that I made, but I had the feeling that Kashtira definitely was a strong deck. Like in the beginning when we had the first live stream, I was like, oh, Kashtira feels really weak. But then as I played it more and more, I got the feeling that it is not that weak, it's quite strong. And then I think somewhere around, I don't know what it was, a Diamond 3 or something, I realized that I always build the same board, as you do with Kashtira, having your Shangri-Iwa and then your Kashtira Rysart. By the way, quick little tip here, I don't think that it's correct to activate your Shangri-Iwa in your opponent's standby phase most of the time, especially if you are in the higher leagues and you are facing a lot of Kashtira opponents, as this normally should only give you an additional unicorn, because Fenrir should already be on your field after your first turn, and then you, for once, unlock your opponent's triple tactics thrust that a lot of people are playing right now, but you also activate your opponent's ability to just overlay a Kashtira Rysart on any Kashtira monster that they have, and that all for you getting a unicorn that has no interruption, but just this I rip one card out of the extra deck thing, which is definitely not that important and not that impactful. So this is when I thought, okay, I always build the same board, Kashtira Rysart, Shangri-Iwa, and then a Fenrir, and this board always gets destroyed by my opponent on his second turn. Mainly, of course, because Kashtira does not have any negates on the board, so any board breaker will work. He can just triple tactics me, which is always live against an Rysart, and I can't stop that. Takes my Rysart, takes my Fenrir, or he just gives me a Kurikara, or I don't know, there are a lot of different options that you can use, even the match here, and so I was thinking, okay, it might be a better way to just go for a going second list and try to just outright kill my opponent, break his board, especially if I face a lot of Kashtira opponents, and that is exactly what happened on my climb. So this deck list here is the list that I mainly used to climb up to Master 1, I think. Before that I used, where is it, do I even have it here? It was Kashtira Full Power. Before that, that's the one I just talked about. Before that I used this one here with a triple planet Pathfinder just to be more consistent. I also had triple tactics thrust in here, which is definitely more of a going second card. Going first, it's not that amazing because you can basically only set an infinite impermanence. What you could do if you are playing the going first version and want to play the triple tactics thrust, because obviously if you go second, and you will go second on your climb, you can play a going first version as much as you want. You will go second from time to time. What you could do is put in a pointer of the Red Lotus, so you can, if your opponent activates your thrust and it's your first turn, you can just search on a pointer of the Red Lotus, thereby looking at your opponent's hand on the draw phase and removing the one card that will basically break your board. This, in my opinion, is way more impactful than it is to have an infinite impermanence on the field. Obviously, if you are going second and then you hard draw this card, then it's really bad, because an impermanence would then be better. So you can see there's always upsides and downsides to any decisions here. But yeah, this was the list I was running first. You can definitely see a lot of the going second aspects in this list, mainly the Duster and, as I said, the triple tactics thrust. There was only two talents in here. Talents, I think, is at the moment one of the best cards. Thrust also, in my opinion, but talents could be the best card in terms of board breaking, hand trap, whatever you want to call it. Obviously this is not a hand trap, this is more of a board breaker card. But yeah, then I switched to the blind second version, and this is really nice. In the beginning I was like, do you really need the Kurikara? You go to Kurikara with the small word. That's why the small word is in here. You can go over your Kashtira Rysart, your Ash, because both of them are fire, and then reach your Kurikara. You can also go and find other monsters, like going with a Max C over a Scareclaw Kash into a Kash Fenrir. This also works. Well, it doesn't, I just realized, because both of them are psychic, but there are different witches that you can use, so the small word is really nice. So I fell in love with the small word, but the main MVP of this deck is definitely the evenly matched. This deck is really nice if you face a lot of Kashtira opponents, and is less nice if you do not face a lot of Kashtira opponents but face a lot of combo decks, because if I had this one player playing Spiral and he set up, I don't know, I think it was a Baron and some other negates, and I was not able to break the board because there were just too many hard negates on the field. But against a Kashtira opponent, it's super easy to just go for evenly matched, banish everything, and then you might also be able to steal the remaining, I don't know, a Rise Heart with Triple Tech Excellent and then use it yourself. You can also just steal a Fenrir and then use the Fenrir to activate your play, search something, use a Theosis, use a Birth, and so on. And as I already said, it's super easy to get a Triple Tactics Thrust live if your opponent has the Rise Heart on the field. I mean, most of the time they just activate the Shangri Iber, then it's already live. And if he has the Rise Heart on the field, then you only need to give him one card basically that goes to the banish pile. Then the mandatory Rise Heart effect will activate, and then your Thrust is also live. Then you can go into a Talents, destroy the board, can go into evenly matched. The other main idea of this deck is to just kill your opponent on the second turn. Obviously with evenly matched that's not possible, but it's quite easy to do that. This is also the reason why there are two Scareclaw Kashtira in here and also a Telemans Kashtira, because Telemans Kashtira in and of itself isn't really helping the deck, but it's really nice in the sense that if you are missing some bonus attack points, so you might, a common thing that you will have on the board, for example, is like a Unicorn, a Fenrir, and then a Rise Heart, and together they have like, this is 2-4, 5 minus this, it's like 6-4. They have 6-4 attacks, so you are missing a few attack points. Obviously, you can also go into the Text Dragon and hope that the opponent cannot out the guy and he just kills him then. But you're basically missing either a Scareclaw Kash or a Telemans Kashtira. There will also be boards where you have like a Rise Heart in attack position, a Unicorn in attack, and then the Fenrir in defense because you needed to summon him from the Theosis and you need to summon something in defense. And then maybe a Scareclaw Kash, and then you're also missing some attack points, which can be provided by the Telemans Kashtira. The problem with, for example, having a Telemans Ogre, not a Telemans Ogre, but a Kashtira Ogre is that in this scenario here, you have already used your Kashtira Theosis to get, for example, the Fenrir. You might already have used your Birth because you can use your Kashtira Rise Heart to, for example, banish a Scareclaw Kashtira and then use the Birth to summon it back. And you can also, if you have, for example, your Fenrir and search your Unicorn, use your Birth to summon the Unicorn. And then you don't have any other options to summon the Ogre because you have already used the Birth's effect to normal summon an additional time. And the Telemans Kashtira, also the Scareclaw Kashtira, give you the opportunity to just use cards from your hand or your graveyard to special summon them. That's why they are better than is the Ogre. One thing that's also really cool if you can do it and makes the killing really easy is just summoning your Scareclaw Kashtira with the Kashtira Theosis, because it will be summoned in defense position, and that's obviously the position that you want to summon them in. One core card is definitely your Kashtira Rise Heart because it can banish something that you can then reborn with the Birth. So it's pretty easy to kill your opponent when you go second. There are also other nice cards. This, by the way, is just a bridge for Small World, but can also be very strong if you just draw it and just throw the card, because if you're playing against Kashtira, then he basically cannot really build his board. But it doesn't really matter. Your Kashtira opponent can build a board if he wants to, because if you have access to your Thrust, then you have access to your Evenly, and then it's just over. You might wonder why we don't play the Pot of Prosperity in here. This is just because the Pot of Prosperity, though it's a really nice and strong card, just steals us or hinders us in killing our opponent, because our opponent will only have or get half the damage after we have activated the Pot of Prosperity, so that's not helpful in killing our opponent. I would have really liked, and I will make a video about Rescue Ace about this deck in general. I would have really liked to make some of the climb with the Rescue Ace deck, but unfortunately, though the deck is really fun and it's cool and you can play it, it's definitely not strong enough. Or let me phrase it differently. You can reach Master 1 with this deck, but I did not want to invest the time that it would take to do so, because this is definitely not as strong as is Kashtira or going second Kashtira or Purely or, I don't know, Labyrinth or any other deck that you can easily reach Master 1 with. So I played this in the Duelist Cup and also when I then reached Master 1, but not really the best deck to reach Master 1. Then there's also just because I'm here and I'm seeing this. This one I played when I was Master 1, just a fun tier Kashtira build, Telemans Kash build, which This can also work, but yeah, the blind second build is what I used to reach Master 1 this season. It was a really fun climb. I had the feeling, you might remember this in the beginning, I told you that I wasn't like tracking my progress, but I had the feeling that this climb was faster than it was the last time around. I definitely had a lot of fun on the ladder, more fun than I have had in the last ladder climbs. I think the month before I didn't even made it to Master 1 because I wasn't really interested in the current meta. So yeah, this was my climb and my experience to Master 1. There were some moments when I thought about changing the going second variant to the going first variant, or just changing to purely going first, because there were some moments where I wasn't facing a lot of Kashtira opponents, and as I already said, if you do not face a lot of Kashtira opponents, then the going second version is definitely weaker. But if you do face a lot of Kashtira opponents, the going second version is amazing. And the other thing that's cool about the going second version is that you don't not like do the same thing all the time. With the going first version, you always make the same starting board, you always want to end on the same starting board. That's very like boring if you ask me, but with the going second version you definitely have to think about what do you want to make, or what play do you want to make. And the thing is that you oftentimes end up in these low resource situations in which neither you nor your opponent have a lot of cards, and then in my opinion skill comes into play, because then you have to make the right decisions. There is no really not really that much skill involved if you're just doing your basic combo on turn 1, even if it's like a long combo like in Rika, for example. Given the fact that you don't get interrupted, because obviously if you get interrupted then you have to like make new decision points. But I think it's super fun, the going second variant. If you want to try it, I will quickly, because I've used this in other videos, I will quickly go over the deck list, call out the names. So we are at the end of the video now. If you want to copy the deck, I will just read it out to you. Otherwise, thanks for being here. Let me know in the comments what your climb look like. And if you like my videos, please consider subscribe, notification bell, and the thumbs up, as this really helps out the channel. And now let's just go through the list. We have 1 Droll and Lockbird, 1 Kurikara Divine Carnet, 3 Maxigi, 3 Ash Blossom, 2 Kashtira Rysart, 2 Kashtira Fenrir, 3 Kashtira Unicorn, 2 Scarecrow Kashtira, 1 Telemans Kashtira, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 Pot of Desires, 1 Lightning Storm, triple Tactics Talents 3 times, 1 Small World, 3 Kashtira Theosis, 3 triple Tactics Thrust, 1 Pressured Planet Wraithsoft, 3 Kashtira Birth, we have 1 Crossout Designator, 3 Evenly Matched, 1 Baron de Fleur, 2 number 11 Big Eye, 1 number 7 for Master of Blades, 1 Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, 2 Dark Armed the Dragon of Annihilation, 3 Kashtira Shangri Ira, we have 3 Kashtira Arisat, 1 Divine Arsenal, As, Zeus, Sky, Thunder, and then 1 Donner Dagger for hire. I definitely don't need the Donner Dagger for hire. This is really nice against the Scareclaw matchup, because this can out the big Link 3 Scareclaw guy. This deck has a lot of problems with the deck otherwise, or with the specific monster I just mentioned otherwise. But yeah, that's the list. I hope you had fun with your climb, or might have fun with this list, maybe in the next month, in the next season, or maybe this season. Anyways, however it is, I wish you a great day, and we will see each other in the next one.